Welcome to Blue Collar Crypto. This is part of the World of Ability podcast network. My name is Sue Roscoff, and I could not be happier to be bringing in the amazing Tim Torosian, host of Blue Collar Crypto. And we are blessed with some extra fun folks in the crew here today. Tim, so glad to see you. I'm going to pass it on over to you.
Oh, well, thank you. I like to start my show with I know we have some people here that are talking about fatherhood, and I can't think of anything more important. I have two daughters. They're grown. They both have babies, and one just had one and says I'm the grandfather. So um, I life is moving fast. I'm retired and I'm a grandfather all at the same time. So I'm so proud of my daughters. I am so extremely proud of them as people, having some good values, good judgment, and they're beautiful, they're pleasant, they're smart, they're a catch. They're a catch. Um, so what else are we sharing about fathers? Who else wants to I know we have a couple people here on our show.
I'll jump in here now, help set the stage. Welcome, everybody. We're pleased and proud and privileged to have this all, especially with Tim here, bringing us this, your Blue Collar Crypto show. And so we're coming in as Tim is describing all this. The theme here is rocking with your fathers, and this all is jumping us to an event, a hybrid event that we'll be covering here at the World Ability Podcast Network. And so that's going to be based out of Phoenix at a church on Saturday, June 20th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Is that the timing, or does it end at 3 p.m. or something?
3 p.m.
11 to 3, I think. So 11 to 3 on that Saturday, a 4-hour event at a church, all really to drive donations. That's really what it's about. I know I'm involved in another nonprofit as well, Project I Heart for Veterans. So on that side of things, we think of all of our veterans who are fathers, and this all intermingles together. And we have Kiza on here, who's coming into here connected out of Kenya, Africa. 300,000 refugees at the Kakoma refugee camp, and Kiza heads up the Youth Empowerment Training Center. And so Miran and Kiza got together, and they're seeing how that can all join together, and that we can look at the transition for people, coming in for immigration and looking for citizenship here in the USA, and how we take care of fathers that are maybe in a little bit of a struggle, relocating from out of another country into the USA, and how this business works. So we're looking at all that stuff right now. Myron, you want to come in here and share a little bit more about your story with Real Fathers Inc. and make sure to tell more about this event on June 20th.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Miran Gunnells, and I'm the founder of Real Fathers Inc. The reason why I came up with this is because my wife passed away back in 2011, and my kids was only 10 and 7 when she passed away. And when I was raising them, I couldn't find no resources or no support groups for men out here. I'm like, man, that's crazy. So I'm like, okay, once my kids get grown, I'm gonna figure something out, try to get a nonprofit going and help the men that don't have no voice out here, that's struggling and don't know where to turn to because we don't have no support for them. So, you know, if you don't have no support and you don't have anything, you go try to do anything and everything to raise your kids, and it's just a cycle. So when we came up, we designed our nonprofit to help father with education, mentorship, and counseling because it's a that's a I want the dads to have some type of career because if you have a career, you'll show your kids how to get out of poverty and you won't be going through the same cycle over and over, living from paycheck to paycheck. So we'll have help them with education, mentorship, and counseling. And on the education side, I want to do trade schools, commercial driver's license, and community college. So they can show their kids how to get out of poverty and show themselves they can do it and raise their kids at the same time. And we're gonna be having things with youth kids and projects for the youth because the dads, it's a stressful thing to raise your kids by yourself, and you don't have no type of resources for your kids too, like youth group, uh, some type of camp to go to don't let your kids get out here in these streets and things. And, you got so many influencers out here. You want them to be on the right path just to show your kids that you care for them. And then your kids will follow you if you have a career. So.
Excellent stuff. So, Kiza, are you available on the microphone to unmute and share about your interests in this event on June 20th, and then everything else, Kiza, that you see Myron bringing to you for supporting fathers in Kenya? Kiza, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead and share. What would you like to share with our audience today?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Kiza Echisco. I'm from Kenya, based in Kakuma refugee camp. I'm the founder and the CEO of YETC Youth Empowerment and Talent Center, which is a community-based organization. Stand for orphans and vulnerable children, give them education, because mostly they are the kids which is left down. They don't have anyone who can get them hand and stand up, and which is why we have stand as YTC to make sure every child get education, or every child have the right to learn. Because most of them, some of them, they are sleeping in the market, on the roads, and our aim is to bring them together to have some of an orphans, so that they can sleep on some place and getting all tools about feeding and the same place. And we do talent development for youth, so our youth, they have some of the talent and they don't know where they can boast or they can showcase their talent. But it is why you have bring YETC to make every youth to know his talent and to build his future, so that we can do some of the showcase and bring other youth in the community to come to join us as a part of the talent. And about the very first event on 20th June, this is be a good a good time for us to bring people together and to bring our orphans and their parent, which is, let us say, the one is leading them at home, the stepfathers, to bring them together and to show them about love and unity for the children, so that we can start together and play music with our youth, do anything with our youth, and the stepfather to know the importance about the children, to know how they can have some of the event like this with their children. So we have to bring them together. And Kakuma refugee camp, it is not maybe people can take it easy, but it's a big time to bring them together and have some of the speakers where we can do some of the speech about the really father like he have come to say right now, because most of some of the children they have lost hope, and we have to bring hope on them on that event so that they can not be left in down and see and think about how I can be in the future, how I can lead this, how I can have some of the time. So that can be very inspiring on Kakuma refugee camp to have that event. I think we have to bring hope for some of the people and the children in Kakuma refugee camp. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Kiza. So here you go, Tim. I present to you our Mac Daddies, Myron and Kiza, M-A-K, Mac Daddies. What do you think, Tim?
Well, I really understand this. When I was 12 years old, I got a big brother in the Big Brothers program. And because I didn't have a father in the house, I asked my mother, why do I need a big brother? My mom was like, well, trust me. Trust me, son, I know what's good for you. And I was pulling on her, dress or whatever. Why? Why? So this he stayed in my life for 6 years. And as I grew older, I realized how important that was to my development, that a big brother generally doesn't stay around for 6 years. So those of you that don't know what a big brother is, it's a nonprofit, much like your own nonprofits that you're talking about. And a gentleman decides that he'd like to mentor a young man, a school-age child, and be a good example for him, take him to sports events, help out with fathering. And this college dude showed up and said, I'd like to be that person. And I was kind of like I said to my mom, why? And then at the same time, it was kind of mysterious. Why would somebody do this? And I was a little bashful, and I was for 6 years until I was 18, from 12 to 18. He said, well, you're 18 now. I think it's time for you to be a man. And so this is close to my heart. These are all wonderful men, whether they have a personal experience that they're trying to fix or not. They're all these guys are incredible human beings to be involved with this issue. There's a lot of young women that are trying to raise their children by themselves, and they're not necessarily looking for a man, but they would like somebody to help them father their child. And I would like to help, in that respect too. I have daughters, and I'm willing to mentor. Now, that's just one way. There's several ways to go about this. So, but I'm not an expert, but we become experts, I think. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks, Tim. So, Myron, you got anything to add to the conversation? Anything coming to mind?
Oh yeah. When I was raising my daughters, it was kind of hectic for when they was like 7 and 8, because I had to work and get them to school and things like that. And when you have that significant other helping you out, then all of a sudden it's gone. It's like, man, what can I do? How I can get through this? But when I got through it, it was just the grace of God got me through. I got on my knees, prayed,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Amen.
yeah,
God.
yeah. I moved here back to Arizona because we had to go back to Memphis because that's where we're from. And I moved back out here in 2013. And some told me, get up and find you a church. So me and one of my daughters walked across the street of apartments I was staying in, and it was the pastor, Pastor Egypt. He was talking to me, asked me where I was going. I was like, trying to find a church. I don't want to find no big church. I just need a little small church I want to go to. He said, then come on in here. We having service and stuff. I was like, okay. And, I've been there ever since 12, 13 years now. So, and he helps me out. It helps me out a whole lot. I used to be frustrated, mad because I used to ask God why you take their mom away. The pastor had to tell me that, them was we are God's kids, We don't have no say so when they leave and when they don't. You know, he take them when he need to bring them home and stuff. So I mean, I got that. I started to understand that part and stuff, but it is hard raising kids by yourself and stuff. So that's why I want to come out with my organization to, help the fathers and show them it's somebody out here that know what you're going through, uh, the emotion, the mental and the physical part, because man, it touched me because it hit home so hard. So no man, I just want to just help make it a worldwide thing because I've been I lived in about 3 states and I don't see anything like helping any dads out here. So this is a awareness we need to address because some of these men is out here broken, don't know which way to go and things like that. So if we can just get the word out there, get the support and things like that, I think we could make the world a better place.
There you go. Thanks, Myron. So, Kiza, anything that you like to say to the conversation we got going here about all this? Anything to add, Kiza, if you're there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm very excited on the conversation, and I think this is because I'm the one who having some of the orphans, and I have 2 orphans where they are. This is the nephew, the kids of my sister, where they have lost their father since 2013. So I have them here in Kakuma refugee camp, and this is mostly the powerful deed which is giving me to bring orphans and the vulnerable children together. They are the kids which is left him down. Once a kid don't have the parents, you have to lose hope. But we need to build hope in them so that they can have some of the joy on their life. Once they are not having joy, they are taking some of this. Why you can see some of the children, they are going to be the robbery and do something like something which is not good for the community because they are losing hope. So we need to build hope when the kids or the children, which is the orphans and the children in Kakuma refugee camp, so that they can know if also they can do something even if they don't have a parent. So I think this it can be very inspiring for us to bring them together and celebrate together, so that they can have a good future. We go to build a future generation on them once we continue to do something which is coming joy to them. Because joy is things which is coming to bring hope on their hands. So I think we'll have a good moment that day to collaborate and play with them. Yeah, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Kiza. So, Tim, you want to come on in here? You and I have been doing the show together. Your show, what you've been doing for the past
Yeah,
years, and you really
yeah.
span the spectrum of what can be discussed here. It was inspired out of blue collar cryptocurrency and all that kind of stuff, the cryptocurrency world, but then you branched off to where you got me saying, hey, what happens when you got more month than money, which these fathers are dealing with. So Tim, you want to give a little bit of a summary of what this means to you today, to be able to be introduced to Kiza and Miran, and what today's show has been? What does this all mean for you?
I think that there's a lot of practical advice for young men, but they need the young men or the young children. We're not talking about just young men. We're talking about daughters too. And it needs to be introduced over and over, repetition, repetition, repetition. Good advice, repeated and repeated and you need a mouthpiece to do that. You need somebody to work one-on-one. And that's where the Big Brothers organization helped me. And I think that's kind of what you want in an organization. You want a mentor, right? So in the case of a father, what kind of help does he needs help with his children. You check the background of an individual and you bring them in as a mentor. An example, kind of young enough, maybe 8, 9, 10 years old kid gets a mentor. Or, a group where you meet regularly. But yeah, financial help, mentoring, educational help. In many cases, these are people from other countries. My father grew up in Syria, in the other side of the world. He was from there, and he became a dry cleaner. But these young people need a mentor. They really do. We need to see that they're being helped. We need to get families involved. A little adoption's not so terrible if these kids can be adopted, but maybe not in the strict sense of, because I got adopted into my big brother's family, and it was good for me. I got to see what another family was like. I got to see what living was like on the other side of the financial world. I was more poor. My big brother's family was a little bit more middle class. I got to see that. It was so beneficial to me. I ended up going to college. I'm not sure I would have gone to college if it wasn't for my big brother. And in fact, I don't know if I might have gone to jail if I wasn't for that man. So we're talking about avoiding, like one of your guests said, I think Miran said, avoiding going to jail, avoiding a life on the streets. That's a very, very big possibility for a father who, needs help with his kids, trying to control them. So I nearly was adopted. Now that I think about it, now my show is trying to connect people with opportunities. the blue collar crypto show, and I do talk about health. But I really do admire people that are trying to improve lives and to improve human beings' lives and their own family, and realizing that they belong to a community, and the community is small, and it's the whole world. That's a community. So I admire that. Someday I might become part of your organization. They need to go to trade school. You're absolutely right. Community colleges. They have to go to these schools. There's wonderful opportunities for electricians, plumbers, carpenters, lawn sprinkler technicians. They pay $40, $50, $60, $70 an hour. They get a pension, and they get a 401k, and they get Social Security. Incredible retirement. Maybe after 20 years. Being a teacher is incredible. It's still a great opportunity. So yeah, my show is about getting ahead, and of course it's about telling our young kids to join a union, Yeah, absolutely. That's what I have to say. Yeah.
All right, Tim. So we got a great show going here. Anything further you'd like to do with this show? Anything further with Kiza or Myron? Or are you
I
thinking of
I
wrapping
was
up, Tim? What would you like to
I
do?
was I usually introduce my stock. It's called KOSS, KOSS, and I do this every show. It trades between $3.50 and $4.50 a share, and you can reasonably make 3 or 4% every day on your money. So over a year, you probably triple your money if you would start investing. And you can take your money out of it, and then you didn't spend any money to invest and started this in the first place when you take your original investment out. It's called KOSS. They're a headphone company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And you don't need to know anything about the stock market or investing or math. Just buy it low, sell it high. And just this one stock. Not going to tell you how to evaluate what a stock is. It's just this stock goes up and down every day. You buy it low and sell it high, and that's the best advice I can give, because it doesn't require a college education, which I have, by the way, and I have a stockbroker's license. But I'm not suggesting people do that. We need to get our kids into these educational programs fast, quick, and we need to start them we need to make a start. Whatever we do, we need to start educating them. Today, now is the time. So that's all I have to really. This show is wonderful for just what you guys are talking about. Getting the American dream. So yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you, Tim. So again, for World Ability Podcast Network, we are appreciating the developments here and spontaneous opportunities like today. We're talking about planning for that event on June 20th, and we spilled right over into this show, and Tim has been so gracious and hospitable and just let us meld it all together, do it together, and make a stand here at Blue Collar Crypto Show to say, let's make a statement about the help that fathers all around the world need. And it's that old adage, it takes a village to raise a child. So be a village for the child, be the village for the father. That'll do it for today. I'm Kurt Roskoff, one of the fathers in this pack here. Proud to be. I got my daughter in the other room, so I'm trying to butter her up a little bit. So here we go. That'll do it for now. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can call and text me 262-372-1754, and my email address is through Project iHeart, as you see behind me, Kurt, K-U-R-T, at projectiheart.org. That's it for now. We look forward to seeing you next time right here, Sundays at 4 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. Central every week, right here with Tim Torosian. Bye for now.